Welcome
to
episode 2.
Whoa.
Alright, by this point we'll already have a name, so no need to worry.
Yeah. We've got numerous emails from all of our fans,
Yes.
actually, with a bunch of different ideas. So we just have to sift through them all.
Yeah, it's just so much, effort to sift through them all because there's so many.
Yeah.
But once we do, we'll have the winning name, and we'll send out some gift cards. Okay, so. These sick people trying to make a quick buck. To the hypochondrium or the groin. The pain is often colicky due to uteric. It's consistent pain, okay?
Really?
I'm like, where do we even start? Like, do I sit? This is like, if anyone would have been like coming in, this is like the most compromising position I've ever been in. Happy October. We are into October now. I'm feeling it, man. Oh, God. I'm loving this. This is my favorite month, as I mentioned on last week's show.
Yeah. It's getting spooky out there.
Mm-hmm. I actually wished there was something going on, but there really wasn't much. I checked on the events page of Haunted Wisconsin, and there was a couple. There was a haunted corn maze.
Ooh.
But you get this. So it goes to during the daytime. It's family friendly fun.
Okay.
So it's like a nice little. You just walk through the corn maze or whatever.
Yeah.
Then at night, it's family friendly fun in the dark.
What?
And they said if anyone attempts to jump out of the corn, or like, even if it's like from your own party, they will be banned from the cornfield.
What?
No scaring allowed.
No scaring, okay.
But I think they have a haunted corn maze is written. Like, I think that's what the name of it is. I'm pretty sure.
Must be one of those paranormal cornfields that they're all invisible. Yeah.
That's probably got
I've
to be
seen
it.
those.
Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. It's not called like a haunted
okay.
one. But
It's
here,
called family friendly fun.
I want to read this to you. What the heck? Where is it? Nighttime corn maze. What is the nighttime corn maze? Is the maze haunted at night? No. Even with our nighttime maze, we will continue to keep our farm fun for the whole family. The maze is more challenging at night, and some younger guests may be slightly spooked by the darkness. Alright, kids, get ready. This is gonna scare the pants off of you. It's dark. Is there gonna be monsters? No. Well, is there gonna be scary creatures or some spiders or cobwebs or fog? No. But get this, it's gonna be more challenging. Ooh, you might not get out right away. Attempting to scare guests by jumping out or spooking them, even if they are part of your group, is not allowed. We do not want the maze to be scary for guests who only want nighttime adventure.
Oh my god.
What kind of baloney is that?
I don't know.
Why do you have a maze open at night if it's not going to be a haunted attraction?
See how many visitors you get.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Like, we should just go to this for kicks. I mean, I think it's stupid, but I think we should just go to make fun of it.
Jeez.
I can't believe it. Like, who has it open? Why would you open it at night if you're not going to have...
I could see if it's
scares?
like a real, like, maze. Like, I'm sitting here picturing The Shining, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I ain't just gonna go and walk through some corn.
I mean, I want to meet the family who's like, we're gonna wait for the night one because I heard it's more challenging, and I just want to do it at night.
I got a time of 7 minutes and 36 seconds on the daytime one. I'm gonna try to do better at night.
It's like a lab test for rats. All right, kids, go. Get to the cheese. Oh man, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they call it their impossible maze.
Ooh.
So that's I don't get it. Anyways, okay. So that was one I looked at, and then I guess Milwaukee was having a ghost tour, which I'm sure you'd be really into because you're really down with paranormal.
Yeah, I believe in all that stuff. So.
Do you believe in haunted stuff like
No.
ghosts? No.
No.
Hmm.
Do you?
This pod's over. I do.
Now, what makes you believe that?
What makes me believe it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there's so much real footage out there of
oh yeah,
and stuff.
dude.
So.
There's way too many accounts of it.
Yeah, and they're all so crystal clear, you know?
Oh, come on. You think that many people are going to go out of their way to bullshit? That many people. Same with UFOs.
You believe in UFOs?
Yes. Oh, no!
Oh, boy.
Is this going to be like when we first met? And I told you that... Did we talk about this on... I feel like we just had this conversation on this week's pod.
I think we did.
Talked about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll move on. Well, this is going to be a rough month for you then, because I'm going to be bringing a lot of paranormal stuff to this pod.
No, bring it on.
I'm ready.
I'm just going to shoot down all your little
great
fantasies.
Well, I'll put like an asterisk next to it before I bring it up, so it does not represent the views of everybody on this pod. I just want to, get into the Halloween spirits.
Yeah.
Get some spooks going.
I'll pretend like I believe in all that.
Okay. And I'll start off then. Let's start off in the best way I can think of.
All right.
We got some hometown heroes. Well, not heroes. Because they killed people.
Oh, boy.
But one of our famous serial killers, Ed Gein.
Oh, yeah.
Right from our
own
backyard.
Yep.
I got a book the other day, the Wisconsin Road Guide to Haunted Locations. And one of the first locations in the book is the property of Ed Gein. And I was taken back for a moment because I was like, oh, that's right. He's from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And the property is it's not that far from us. So I was thinking...
Where is it at?
Let me just go right to it. Hold on one moment. It is in Plainfield, Wisconsin. I believe it's about maybe a 3-hour drive,
okay.
2.5. I mean, it's not bad, all things considered. I mean.
Yeah.
And let me tell you some of the stories. So, the first key location in Plainfield is Clark's True Value.
Okay.
And you're thinking, oh, what does a hardware store have to do with anything? And I think hardware's scary just looking at it because I'm a hardware department manager. So already I open this, I'm like, oh God, don't show me anymore. But there actually is more to this story. So one of the former owners of the store was a victim of serial killer Ed Gein. Employees and customers report seeing apparitions of her carrying order forms and talking about antifreeze. What a boring ghost.
Yeah.
And what did you see when the spirit appeared to you? Oh, she was carrying an order form.
What the heck? She's dead and she's still working?
Yeah.
Like, if I die, I ain't ever going back to Retail Giant.
What if you're like when you die, where you die is like that's what you have to do. You're stuck.
Oh my God.
She's like, all right. It was like her last hour of work, and she's like, oh, okay. Hi, hello, Ed. Nice to meet you. Let me just get that antifreeze, and we can be on our way.
Wow.
And then, wouldn't you know it, that was her last customer. Was her last customer, literally.
Oh man.
And then she died. So So if we were to die right now, we would have to just stay. We would have to like be talking nonstop.
Yeah.
We would just be stuck podcasting. I would have told you the Bigfoot story like 1 billion times.
Oh man, it'd be horrible. Be stuck in a room with you.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Bite my own arm off, or something. But it sure beats Retail Giant, and sure beats Clark's True Value.
Yeah.
But
is that still there?
Unless she enjoyed her job, it is still there, and you can visit. But they prefer you not to ask any employees about what happened. For some reason, they don't
I'm a
like to.
little sensitive to that kind of stuff.
They don't like to talk about the grisly murders. I don't know why. But so on November 16th, 1957, 58-year-old Bernice Warden disappeared from her Plainfield hardware store. There was blood on the floor with a trail of it leading out the back door. Warden's son Frank, who was a sheriff's deputy, recalled that on the day before she disappeared, Geen mentioned that he needed antifreeze. Authorities found a sales receipt for antifreeze inside the store.
Ooh.
Oh, they should have framed that or something.
Yeah.
That's like some good, like, memorabilia. He also learned that Geen had been spotted in town on the day of his mother's disappearance. So Frank Warden and the sheriff went out to the Geen farm to question Ed. Now, this is the part that's like, this is cringeworthy stuff. I mean, all the Ed Gein stuff is pretty cringeworthy, but this, I didn't know this story until I read the book. But when they went to the property, in a shed behind Ed Gein's house, they found, to their horror, the headless body of Bernice Warden hung from the rafters. I don't understand how the body's hung from the rafters without a head, though.
Yeah.
Because usually when you think of a body hanging, it's by the neck.
Yeah.
So maybe it was tipped upside down. I don't know. But hung from the rafters, investor. I can't say this word.
Okay, sound it out.
Obviously, I'm not a scholar, as you might know. This is why I just work in retail. Investor.
Okay.
It was dressed like a deer, okay? It was disgusting, and the body was dressed like a deer. And as one newspaper put it, so that's a newspaper for the elitists. Her head had been turned into a macabre ornament, and her organs were found nearby in a box.
Macabre?
I don't know!
Is that like macabre?
Macabre.
Where are we at?
Macabre.
Yeah, I think that's macabre, isn't it?
Oh, you don't pronounce the R-E?
I don't think so.
Damn it. This story is not... You don't have to focus so much on the words themselves. Just get a picture in your head of a box with organs in it.
Alright.
And a head detached from a body. Alright. But that's fucked up.
That's messed up, yeah.
Like, such, like, planning.
Mm-hmm.
Such, like... And these people show no remorse at all. Like, I mean, we didn't talk about it on the show, but you've seen the Poughkeepsie tapes, right?
Yeah.
Never have I seen such a messed up,
yeah.
like, pseudo documentary of what it may be for a serial killer to tape deaths.
Yeah.
And just the way everything, like, they just show no remorse, no emotion. They're just so, like...
Yeah.
Like, they don't get nervous. And they're just, I don't know, like, there's, you got, like, I want for one, not one day, maybe, like, for one, just a minute, get into the head, the mind of a serial killer, just to, like, not understand, but, like, just see what it's, like, going on.
Yeah.
Because I can't even imagine. That was a public service announcement. Anyways, that's I mean, just organs and boxes and headless people. So I guess she wasn't at the store. She wasn't killed at the store. So maybe she just loved her job so much that she wanted to, or she it was the unfinished business. She never got to give the antifreeze.
Yeah.
And a customer is a customer. It don't matter if you're Ed Gein or the Pope. A sale is a sale.
Doesn't matter if you're dead.
That's a true retail spirit right there.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our questions actually on the test.
Yeah, I think so.
Would you serve antifreeze to Ed Gein if you came to the store? Modern day Ed Gein. So I mean, you probably wouldn't even recognize him.
Such an ethical question. Would you sell a shovel and knives to Ed Gein, if he came in?
What if it wasn't like, okay, what if Ed Gein came in a store, you knew it was him, but he didn't want anything that was like bad? Like, what if he was just getting like a loaf of bread or something? Would you sell it to him?
Yeah, probably.
Would you sell it out of fear that he might do something, or
I'd just sell it to him, I guess. What are you gonna do with a loaf of bread?
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna put put some cyanide on there and feed it to somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Eat it.
What if he did?
I mean,
You're
what?
the one who's selling that bread.
Well, he would have found another means. I mean, if you're talking about a guy like Ed Gein, you really can't blame yourself.
Man, he didn't sell me this bread. I'm quitting. I'm quitting this. I will never murder again.
This guy really turned me around. Maybe I shouldn't. Oh man, that's funny. Would you sell bread to Hitler?
No. Well, if like Adolf Hitler walked in,
yeah, to Walmart or
probably,
to retail giant,
I'd probably kill him. I don't think it'd be frowned upon if you just killed him.
I guess not. No, I don't think anyone would disagree with you.
No.
Not one person. But wouldn't you even, you wouldn't question why it's Hitler in the store?
I'd probably question that, yeah.
What if it was a guy, what if it was a skinhead? I mean, you'd have to serve them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be a little bit more snotty, I guess, to them.
Yeah, you can be a little more snotty to Hitler.
Just a little bit, though.
I'd sell it to him, but I'd be awful rude.
Yeah, believe me, he would not be having. I would not tell him to have a good day.
Oh man, you're buying a lot of groceries. You must be starving. All horrible. Got a lot of mouths to feed with that.
Oh my God!
Full. Anyway.
All right. And there's also a note here too at the end of this. It says, if you visit the store and make a purchase, that's fine. It's cool to go to the store.
Yeah.
But we do not recommend that you inquire about Ed Gein or the murders. The local townspeople are understandably sensitive about the subject and would prefer to put it behind them. Do you ever put something like that behind you as if you were the town, like this town where the hometown of a famous well, should I say infamous? Is that more of a proper word? Infamous serial killer. You never that never truly is something that gets just swept under the rug or put behind you, because books like this. Now I'm gonna go to Plainfield and try to find Ed Gein's property. I'm sure they've got people all the time that are like, "Oh,
probably do, yeah."
Ed Gein.
That's what your town's known for, then.
Yeah, and you could have a person that came from that town that probably cured cancer, and they would still be like, "This is where Ed Gein was born."
Yeah, probably.
So, I'm sorry. Sorry, Plainfield. I'm gonna be the person that keeps propelling this too, because I want to go check out the property. And that leads me to the next section of this book. Ed Gein. Now they actually talk about the property, which is not too much. It's a little bit further from the actual store.
Mm-hmm.
Property of Ed Gein's house once stood. Well, I should correct. It's just the property. It's not the house. It is haunted. People have heard strange noises in the woods and have seen unexplained lights.
Ooh.
How do you explain it?
Wow.
The lights just come out of nowhere from the property.
Cow.
It's not Ed. Sure as heck isn't Ed Gein and his family.
It's gotta be ghosts.
Probably ghosts.
Odds are, yeah.
Even before his arrest, many of the local youths believed that Gein's house was haunted. In fact, Gein used to babysit children and tell them that his house was haunted. I wouldn't count Ed Gein as a credible source. Oh, he said it was haunted? I guess it's haunted. I mean,
He'll never tell a lie.
He probably told those kids a lot of things. After his arrest, Ed Gein was determined to be mentally unfit for trial and was committed to Central State Hospital in Waupun, Wisconsin. On the morning of March 20th, 1958, somebody deliberately set fire to his house, and firefighters were unable to prevent it from being raised. All that remains today is an empty lot that has become overgrown with brush. The driveway is closed off with a chain. So, unfortunately, when we do get to the property, all that we'll really get to see is the property and then like a chain that separates us from this property. Haunted or not, there's not a lot of investigation that can be done. However,
that'd be creepy to go there at night anyway, though.
Yeah,
stand by that chain and get a picture.
God, especially just knowing that property.
Yeah.
Oh, it's chilling.
Yeah.
And lastly, one place that we actually can visit, which is there's an effed up story in this too, of things that people do, but this is the Plainfield Cemetery, which again is close by both of these other locations. Now, apparently this is haunted too. I'm treading lightly on the haunted aspects of this and more of just the Ed Gein parts.
Okay.
But ironically, serial killer Ed Gein is buried in the same cemetery where he used to rob graves.
What?
He is laid to rest not far from some of his victims. That's
weird.
That is so messed up. Imagine if you were the families of those victims that had to visited, and you had to see Ed Gein's just distance away from.
Yeah.
That's
so weird.
I'm surprised that hasn't been like a problem. Like, I'm surprised no one's come out and been like, "This is why why."
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe that's like a justice kind of thing too, though.
Is there like a picture of his grave in there?
Yes. There's just the dirt part.
This is it?
Yeah.
What?
But I'll get to that.
Okay.
See, that's people used to take stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I could see somebody taking the gravestone.
Let's see. After a long bout with cancer, Ed Gein died in a mental hospital on July 26, 1984. Holy crap!
Wow.
He was 77, and was buried in the Plainfield Cemetery next. Oh, his parents and brother. So the whole Gein family is living there. On Thanksgiving, the Geins get together. His grave is not far from the graves that he had robbed years earlier. One of his victims, Bernice Warden, from the hardware store, was buried just a few feet from his grave. That's so messed up.
Jeez.
She's carrying antifreeze. That's why she wants to. That's why she's at work. She doesn't want to be anywhere near.
Yeah.
Ed Gein. On June 15, 2000, thieves stole Gein's 150-pound headstone.
Wow.
It was recovered a year later. Police retrieved it from a Seattle rock band promoter who was selling rubbings from the stone for $50 each on his website. Is that immoral? Not stealing it, but to buy rubbings from the headstone. If you're one of the people that want to get serial killer headstone rubbings, is that immoral?
I don't know.
I mean, what reason do you have to buy it other than it's Ed Gein, that's hardcore.
What do you mean immoral? As in, you'd feel...
Should you feel bad about buying something like that? Like a $50 rubbing of his headstone?
I don't think so.
I mean, because what reason is it for? Because it's cool? Historical value?
Mm-hmm.
You think? I mean, I don't think those are the people buying them, though. They're not I don't think a lot of those people are.
Yeah. I just saw that episode, actually, on Pawn Stars.
So. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, like, if you have part of that, how do they know it's the real thing, too?
That's true. Yeah, it would be hard to have any credibility.
Yeah.
But I just think it'd be weird to buy an etching of that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is kind of it's an interesting. I mean, we're talking about it, so
Mhm.
there is like some. I don't know the word, but
Yeah.
it's got some pull to it.
Yeah.
This whole subject. Not that I'm like condoning anything evil, but anyways, the authorities were concerned that the marker would be stolen again if it was returned to the cemetery. So it currently resides in the Watoma Museum. So if we ever go to the property, we can visit the museum and see the headstone.
Where? Oh, that's the same town?
Yeah.
Watoma?
Yeah. Well, Watoma is the county, I believe,
Okay.
and Plainfield is the town. But yeah, and it says that people steal dirt from the grave, and they either sell it or keep it as a souvenir.
Wow.
So that might be. I could
The
understand.
dirt
that.
would be, like, even cooler than the gravestone, I think.
Yeah.
Or the headstone. The headstone doesn't have anything to do with Ed Gein.
Yeah.
The dirt, though, that's creepy.
Yeah. That's like, ooh, this is where
Yeah.
like, it's like you can actually like
Yeah.
touch it and wiggle it around in your hand. but yeah, that's that's Ed Gein for you.
And that's the guy I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based off of.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Which is, Ed Gein never used a chainsaw, did he?
You know what? I actually read something about that. But I have no memory, so I don't know.
I can look it up. I wish I knew more, because I mean we are from Wisconsin. We should
Yeah.
really have this.
Well, I mean, he's the guy who, like, tore off people's faces and, like,
Yeah.
wore it on his face.
Yeah.
That's where Leatherface came from.
Right. And he made some sick stuff, like he made like lampshades and stuff.
Yeah.
On people and, that's what he looks like.
Yep.
He looks like a homeless guy or something, or not. Like, I mean, not homeless, but I don't know, like a bum. Yeah, he looks like a homeless guy. I don't know. I don't know if that's really that offensive to say. I mean, it's better than being a murderer. Wow, I did not picture him looking like that.
What would you
Just
picture him
more
like?
more disturbing.
Like a businessman or something. More disturbing?
Yeah, like I don't think that's very disturbing. Like it just looks like an uncle or something. Like it could be like my uncle.
As a matter of fact, Ed.
Oh my god. Oh, now this is something I didn't know. He wasn't born in Plainfield though. So if I said that he was, I'm sorry. He was actually born in La Crosse, but I guess they purchased the farm in Plainfield, and that's when things went down.
Oh.
God, I wish I would have read up a little more about him before we started the pod. Dang it. I don't want to have to edit anything either, so I'm trying to keep talking.
Oh boy. Don't worry, I'm a good talker. I'll fill in the gaps.
Perfect. I just want to figure out if he ever...
Use the chainsaw?
Yeah. Okay. Initially found... with fewer than 3 murders attributed to him, Gein does not meet the traditional definition of a serial killer. His case influenced the creation of several fictional characters, including Norman Bates from Psycho, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Jane Gum from Silence of the Lambs.
So maybe it's like loosely based off. What's like pop culture? What's under that?
They talk. The story of Ed Gein has a lasting impact on Western popular culture. Many appearances, number of different movies. There's actually a couple movies just about him. That might be interesting to watch. Maybe they have something like on Netflix about Ed Gein.
Yeah.
They have a movie called Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. It's probably just the whole Leatherface thing.
I think it's just loosely based off of
Right. Well, so here's something that's since we're on the topic and we're in our Halloween mode, I'm gonna read what authorities found inside the house.
Okay.
Whew, all right. So, and this is just after they found. This is after they found that woman hanging upside down, dressed like a deer. Searching the house, authorities found 4 noses, whole human bones and fragments, 9 masks of human skin, bowls made from human skulls, 10 female heads with the tops sawn off. Which I don't understand. Didn't it said he only killed 3 people?
Yeah.
How do you have 10 human heads? You just buy those? Or did someone else kill them?
Yeah.
Maybe he had. I wish we should definitely. I'd like to know a little bit more about him.
Yeah.
But human skin covering several chair seats. Mary Hogan's head in a paper bag. Bernice Warden's head in a burlap sack. Oh my god. I'm done. A lampshade made from skin from a human face. That's I mean, I can't fathom. It's not amazing, but I don't know.
How do you live then with all that right around you?
I know,
how do you just relax in your chair at night when it's made out of human skin?
Just gotta open up a good book and sit on this couch made of skin here. Oh, happy Halloween! Anyways, so that's Ed Gein. Wouldn't you know it? We ran out of stuff about Ed Gein to talk about. Well, let's transition. Speaking of ill health, I had a little bit of a excursion in the hospital.
Ooh.
I actually let's see, where do I begin? I actually just got about 24 hours ago. Just got out of the ER. Happened yesterday. Well, this whole week has been just crap. Saturday night we went to the casino. We played Glow Bingo, which was awesome.
Glow Bingo?
Yeah, it was they turned the lights down and it was all neon lights and a bunch of party music and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But we had to sit in this. We got there kind of late.
Yeah.
So we had to sit inside of a room that was outside of the the festivities, the party festivities.
Yeah.
We had to sit in a room called the Walnut Room or something, and it was like a nursing home. Our room was a lighted up pale wallpaper, no neon lights, all just fluorescent lights with a little monitor of the outside festivities, and it was all quiet. And just outside was this huge rager.
What?
And they're like, "How's everyone in the Walnut Room?" And we're like, "Woo!" And I don't know what it was for. I don't know if it was for disabled people or people that just got late to the party, and that was your punishment. But we just could not find any place to sit other than inside this room, so we're like, all right, screw it. And if you call bingo in that room,
no one hears you.
I don't know. Are they just playing for fun in that room?
Pound on the glass.
Bingo, bingo, please.
Nobody's got bingo. On to the next one.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. And not that it mattered because we didn't ever got a freaking bingo. We never got close. But it was fun.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought you won.
No, never. It would be awesome.
Colin told me you won $190.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was during slots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played slots too.
Okay.
I went back to my winning ways
Oh.
in slots, and it seems like whenever people doubt me, that's when I win. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna play slots?"
Yeah.
And then I won like $190 or something.
Yeah.
So
First time we went up to it, I said, what I say? Oh, there used to be this show
yeah.
where this guy sliced them open and they're all rigged.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, you won $100
Yeah, we go into like the bonus area.
Yeah.
I like just hit that bonus, and I'm like touching these little things trying to reveal what my next jackpot's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, they cut those open, huh? But I can understand because it was probably a big loss day for you, wasn't it? Didn't you lose like a lot?
How much did I lose? I think I lost $60.
Okay, not that bad.
I think I played roulette 3 times, $20 each.
Oh, so that'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't you play slots?
I don't know if I did.
I thought you did. But well, anyways, so I played some slots and played bingo, but the bingo lasted. It was like 4 hours.
Wow.
We started at 11 o'clock and we were out of the casino at like 4 o'clock.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
What?
After we played, after we were done with bingo, we were like, well, I'm not done at the casino.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. We were still playing slots. I think they really do pump oxygen in that. Because we were not done. We were not ready to leave yet.
Normally you'd be so tired and you
Yeah.
just want to get out of there, especially after not winning anything.
Yeah. That's probably why we're like, we got to walk out with something.
Yeah.
So we were still playing, but we're like, this is like, we were talking before about like grabbing a drink and like going to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 o'clock and we still were in bingo. Is this ever gonna end? We're looking around at all these people, they're still so dedicated. All these old people in wheelchairs and like all these other people. We're just like, this is unbelievable. Are these people ever gonna stop? When are our chances ever gonna get better? So I couldn't believe that. But like they had an intermission where people just danced and like people were grinding on each other, but it was like all middle-aged, like obese people. So there wasn't, and everyone kept trying to dance with us, and we're like, no,
I'm good.
I'm good. Just want to play some bingo. And they had this mascot. I don't know if you saw the picture on Facebook, but we got our picture taken with this mascot named B13 or something, and he's
Really?
like a giant bingo ball. And he was tossing out little prizes during this thing. It was a riot. It was so much fun.
Wow.
But it got to be, at the end, I was like, gotta be kidding me. I cannot believe how long this is going.
Yeah.
So word of advice, if you do late night bingo, get ready, because you're going to be there. And the reason I brought this up was this is the start of like what happened to be like a really bad week for me, because after I got home, my throat started really killing me, and I was like, oh great, I got sick. I went to this environment with all these people, and that's probably what happened. All these sick people trying to make a quick buck. Got me all these scummy people crawled out from under the rocks for a day. They got me of all people, sick. So then Sunday I got really hit with it. I was super tired, just trying to watch. I was falling asleep during the Packer game. That never happens because I love to watch some football.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I honestly probably slept like 75% of that day.
Jeez.
And my throat was getting really sore. And the only time I pepped up was during like one of the ending plays of the game, and it was another bad call. And coming off the coattails of last week, I was like screaming. I was like, "You're gonna be kidding us! There's no way you're doing this to us again!" And I was like, "Oh shit, I have a sore throat. I shouldn't be doing this." And I went to bed early. I woke up on Monday, and I was just wrecked. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it to work. I did somehow. and I was so exhausted, so like I felt like I hadn't slept at all. Really just like sore throat, all like just flu-like symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was more like I felt like my mono was coming back. That's what I was scared of, because I had mono previously.
Yeah.
In another state of me as a person.
Yeah.
That sucked. I couldn't work for a while. I was taking steroids as a treatment.
Wow.
And like just tired all the time, and I feel like maybe that's why I'm always tired now, because I had it already once before, so
Mm-hmm.
just like that's a long lasting effect. I'd like to believe that that's why I have no motivation, why I'm always tired.
Permanent mono.
I'll just blame it on my model. But that sucked. I was afraid that was coming back, but I don't think that's the case. I actually had it looked at unintentionally, which I'll get to later.
Mm.
So Monday, I actually ended up leaving work early. I left at it was like 10 o'clock. I went up to my ZMS, and which probably looked bad on my part because there was a ton of freight, like the most freight I've ever seen. And she's like, "Oh, we're in for one big day," and I was like, "Oh no, no!" I was actually just wondering if I could get out of here. And I hate it because they always probably think like, "Oh, this guy is faking it."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Have you ever had to ask to leave?
I don't know actually. Not because I was sick, I don't think.
Yeah.
But so you asked your ZMS,
Mhm.
assistant manager?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just taking my mouth was starting to dry. I was hoping there would be like a long story about you asking to leave or something.
Oh.
But no, I asked my ZMS, but she called the assistant to ask.
Oh.
So I felt a little better about it.
Yeah.
That she would like ask for me. That was nice. That she's so nice. She'll seriously like defend me. I think we talked about this too before, which I'm glad, because I don't want to have to tell the story again. But she will defend like me and my associates like to the end. Like
Really?
She's so nice. I don't know why. Like I don't deserve it, but it's awesome. So good on her. If I ever make it big, she'll be the first on my list.
Who's this?
Ms. Mary.
Mary. Okay.
Yeah, and Ruth is awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we'll get to that later. But anyway, so I asked her to leave, and all that Anne said was, just make sure my BAM screen's finished. So I'm like, oh, Jesus, please don't let there be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of
Stuff.
It wasn't that much stuff, but it was like price changes, so I had to get these tags, but I had the wrong size tags, so I had to walk all the way back, grab the tags, walk back again, get these like plastic things to put the tags in. And it just kept like I had to keep traversing. I'm like, okay, I better do this right so they don't get mad. And I put these tags up. I went home. Finally went home at actually not. It was a short day. I seriously stayed for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
That was it. I couldn't do it. I got home at like 10:30, and I just slept. And I slept until 2 o'clock when I had to give my dad a ride to work. Got up again, and then I forgot about this. I almost wasn't even going to mention. I almost skipped over this part. But so that same day, I don't know what's going on with my throat right now. I feel like there's something in it, but there's not. So that same day, I had an appointment at the dentist's office for a drilling.
Okay.
It was at 4 o'clock. So after I woke up at 2, I was like, well, I'm not going back to bed now. But I still felt like such shit. Like my throat was just killing me, and I was super exhausted, kind of nauseous. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I'm forgetting all these details, but my head was pounding too.
Karen.
Oh yeah, and then this happened. Now I know how she feels. We shouldn't make fun of her anymore. Yeah, my head was like, I don't know what was going on, but my head was just pounding. Like it felt like it was just roaring. And for some reason, I had the impression that I couldn't take any pain meds when I was on my antidepressants.
Yeah.
But it turned out it was just I couldn't take ibuprofen. I could take Tylenol. I always just thought they were the same thing. But I guess not. So I could take it this whole time. And I'm just sitting there like, oh.
Agony.
Yeah. It was a rough one. My head was like pulsating, like boom, boom, boom. So I get to, I work, well, I have to do it, but I work myself out of bed, take a shower, drive over to the dentist, go into the back, start getting, like, I sit down and I feel like I'm like a person, I feel like I'm like a member of Al-Qaeda, like being ready to get tortured. Like, not only is my head pounding, they're playing the news in the background, and they're just like, all right.
Is this for just like a cavity or what?
Yeah, I had a couple cavities.
Yeah.
So they stick the numbing thing in. I'm like, well, at least I don't think about my sore throat anymore. Now I've got this thing that's numbing my mouth, and they're drilling me. So it was a terrible experience.
Mm-hmm.
But not as terrible as what happened later this week.
Ooh.
So this is. This week has been unbelievable. So it's only got to get better. I hope. Hopefully on Friday we get to go to that Hills Have Eyes thing.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah,
There's a haunted attraction. It's a ski hill, but it's like haunted, and there's a chairlift.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I know.
Anyway.
What if you jump, or like do you like fall out of it?
Or like, I mean, so you're going up this chairlift, but the chairlifts that I've ever been on are all like 30 feet above the ground. So I mean, what is like spooky guys like walking under you or what? I have no idea.
Maybe like they things fly at you or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Or maybe it's just like the corn maze and it's just a chairlift at night.
Yeah. Please don't attempt to scare any of the riders on chairlift. But there's two other attractions attached to that whole hill.
Okay.
So like once you get off the chairlift, I think it's like kind of like a haunted walk. You know, like they have Hills Have Eyes themed, I think.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I finished the dentist drilling. My mouth is. Have you ever had your mouth numbed?
Yep.
That sucks.
Yep.
I've never had that done before until that day, and I was just like, oh my god, like it feels like
so weird.
It feels like when you bump it or something, or like when you're bumping on like bars and it goes like get that weird feeling in your face.
Yep. You just can't feel it even on the outside.
Yeah. And like when you eat, like it just I mean, I guess you're not supposed to eat. Or I don't know. I was told there's certain things you're not supposed to eat right away, but
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
But I tried to eat something, and I brought it over to this side, like the side that was numb, and I like just lost it. I was like, oh shit, is it still around or did I swallow it? I don't know.
And you figure out it's your tongue or something.
Yeah. Turn into Ed Gein over here.
I've had this before.
This was tasty. So that sucked. And what sucked even worse than that was I had Tuesday off. I took it off because the new Resident Evil was coming out.
Yeah.
I was going to get it on Monday at midnight, and I was too sick to even get it. I was like, well, I went to bed at 11 o'clock on Monday. So then I woke up on Tuesday. Tuesday wasn't bad. I mean, I was still like, my throat was still killing me, but I wasn't really that tired or anything. I wasn't really that, like, flu feeling. My head didn't hurt. So, you know, Tuesday wasn't bad, but I still really wasn't feeling like doing anything, so we didn't even get Resident Evil. The whole reason I took off. So it was more just like a lazy day. Like, that's what sucks about, like, life. The one day I take...
That's why I hate life so much.
That's why it sucks. Why life is not fair, and you'll always get shit on.
I had to have a lazy Tuesday where I did nothing.
Well, you know, you take off for a reason.
Yeah.
And then the one thing you want, the whole reason you took off, you don't even, like, you're sick.
Yeah.
On the one day you take off, like.
Yeah.
So then you're rewarded by getting better and going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I took off Tuesday. It was alright. It was still fine. I played some Borderlands and played some games and watched Netflix. It was good. But went to work on Wednesday and made it through this is where the fun part comes up.
Oh.
Made it through to about roughly the end of the day. It was about I get out of work at 4. I made it to about 3:15 when all of a sudden my stomach started hurting. And throughout the day it was already hurting quite a bit throughout the day, so I was like, "Oh, this is not right." But
yeah.
at 3:15, that's when it was like, this is not right. Something's going
wrong.
on. Something ain't
Something
right.
just ain't.
So it's like I feel like I'm getting stabbed, like literally stabbed in like my abdomen, like my lower bowels, and I'm like, this is messed up. I'm gonna take my break and just sit down for a little bit. So I get to the break room, sit down. I'm like thinking about stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't even want to be on break. I get up, and I'm like, I'm calling it. So I go to the office. I'm like, Carrie, and immediately she hangs up the phone. She was on the phone. She hangs up and she goes, "Do you know what the sales tax in Wisconsin is?" I'm like, 5 point something. And she's like, "Oh, you look like you're in pain." I'm like, "Yeah, can I go? I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being stabbed." And she's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." So I leave. I'm getting my jacket on, and ZMS Carrie is like, "Oh, where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go to the doctor." And she's like, "Oh, what's happening?" I'm like, "I don't know. I feel like I'm being stabbed in my stomach." And she's like, "Oh, is it an ulcer? Did I give it to you from too much stress?" I'm like, "I don't know. I gotta go." So I start walking out the door, and I'm like, at this point, I feel like I could pass out. Like I was like, I'm gonna collapse by this door, and they're gonna have an accident in Walmart. I'm gonna be one of the accident costs in Walmart. I'm like, no, F that, F that. I'm not gonna make a spectacle in Walmart. I don't even care. I'm saying it anymore. But
yeah.
But I'm sure they probably figured it out that we work at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm like, F that. I'm not making a spectacle here. So I make it out to my car. I'm like, it's like a horror movie. I'm trying to run away from Ed Gein over here. I start the car up. It doesn't start right away. I start it up again. Turn the ignition. I go over to urgent care. I'm walking into urgent care. I'm like, I sit down by the receptionist, and she's like, "Hi, how can I help you today?" I'm like, I feel like I'm being stabbed in my stomach right now. Like it hurts so bad. And she's like, "All right, I just need some information, blah blah blah." I'm like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
Like I need help. Help me.
Die right on your floor here."
And I have to go through all these motions. Like I have to sign some papers, fill my name out. I'm like trying to sign my name on this thing. I'm like shaking my hand and going across it. I'm like, "Lady, just give me some help." So they actually send. I tell her, I'm like, "Look, I feel like I'm gonna pass out." So they send a nurse out. And she gets me, she wheels me back in a wheelchair. I'm like, "So can I have some water? My mouth's dry." And they're like, no, we gotta see what's going on first. And I'm like, okay. So I get into the room, and at this point it's getting worse. Like I feel it's like an alien, like in Alien when like the chest burster. I feel like I have a chest burster like in my lower stomach. It's like, oh. So now I'm like, all right, here we go. I'll lay down and things will get better. Mm-hmm. So I'm laying down the table inside the office.
Yeah.
And the nurse comes in and they give me my insurance card back because I left it up there. And they're like, "I'm the nurse, blah blah blah. I'll stay in here with you." And they check on my pulse and everything and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm describing all the pains and like the first time it happened when I ate all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor comes in and he's like, "All right, now what I think this is either a stone or appendicitis. Either way, we gotta scan you. But our CAT scan people are gone today."
Oh man!
they didn't think they would be they weren't very busy today. So.
Yeah. They just had to finish their BAM screen and get out of there.
They just had a few price changes and they were able to leave, so. So we're going to hook you up with an ambulance ride and send you over to another hospital. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. But just do something because I'm going to die over here. And I'm telling you, man, like this...
Were you crying?
I could have. I was ready to.
Really?
This was like the worst. Like they compare it. And I'm not just. This is from an online. This is not me.
Okay.
They compare. It's the male equivalent of giving birth.
What?
And that people have compared it to burning, getting shot, getting stabbed.
Wow.
Yes. So that's what I felt.
Okay.
So I've been shot in my stomach at this point. I gave birth. All right, I'll look it up while we're talking about it.
All right.
But yeah, so they call for an ambulance, and these EMTs come in, and there's three. Now it's like a circus. There's a doctor, there's a nurse, 3 EMTs, one guy late to the party, and they're all asking the same question. And the guy who's late to the party is asking the same questions that the 3 other people before me asked about. Shit, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Hold on, I'm sorry.
So that pain is equivalent, or it's when you actually
yes. The pain that I had while I was in there. Okay, the pain this is called renal colic.
Okay.
So if you're in the medical profession, you already figured out that it was what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the pain typically begins in the abdomen and often radiates to the hypochondrium or the groin. The pain is often colicky due to uteric. It's consistent pain, okay? It begins it's got 2 varieties, dull and acute. It's described as one of the strongest pain sensations felt by humans, being worse than childbirth, broken bones, gunshot wounds, burns, or surgery.
Wow.
It was seriously, I'm not lying, it was the worst pain in my life.
Wow, okay.
So anyways, EMTs come in, they're like, alright, they're really nice, but I'm sure that's, kind of have to be. They're
fake.
They're lying in my face. They didn't want to be there. They were probably going to talk about me in a podcast. Some idiot thought he was dying. We had to help this guy. But they hooked me up with some pain meds. And they're like, oh, man, how are you feeling now?
This is on the way over there?
Yeah, so now I'm being wheeled out to the ambulance. And it's taken the ambulance a while to get there, so I'm just kind of making small talk with these guys. But like my stomach's killing me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know really what you want me to say. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I can't just sit here and pretend like we're going to be friends for a little bit. Because I can't. I don't want to think about anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's just taking over my whole life right now. And ambulance finally gets there. They start wheeling me out. They got me hooked up with, like, an IV and, like, some pain meds that are going through me. And I'm starting to feel a little better. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Like, got some narcotics going through me.
Yeah.
And I get on the ambulance, and then it's like the pain is just the same as it was, if not worse. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, man?
How much worse is this going to get? That's what I'd be thinking.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are the meds not working? So they're like, all right, how's it pain? I'm like, it's still here. And they're like, all right, well, here's some morphine. They give me 10 milligrams of morphine. I believe it was 10 milligrams. And at this point, I'm feeling like, if I didn't have the pain, I'd be like, this is awesome. But I still had the pain. And so it really wasn't doing anything besides just making me like, woo, like drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to the hospital finally after the ambulance ride, which was kind of an interesting ride. I've never been in an ambulance. And I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I kind of liked it.
It was kind of cool. It was weird. Like when there was like a stoplight that changed suddenly. So there was like a quick stop. And I kind of rolled a little, but I was strapped in, so I felt like I was kind of like getting like pulled, and I was like, oh
yeah.
But I kept trying to lay to the side because it made things a little bit better. But and there was a time in like the middle of the trip of the ambulance where like felt like I was gonna get like finally was like subsiding, and I was like, oh, maybe it's kicking in. Then all of a sudden, bam! Like it just shot again. And I was like, ah. And I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I was saying to these people. Like, at this point on these pain meds, I was probably like, I could have been telling them like my whole life history or like secrets. They probably, I wouldn't have had known. But
I'm just trying to get out of work right now.
yeah. Oh yeah, this is all fake.
Just needed my morphine fix. Thanks, guys.
So they finally get to the hospital. I go into the bay. They wheel me off, and I'm being like pulled through on the stretcher in the hospital. Like it's like a movie or like a TV show. Like everyone's passing me. I'm like looking up on this thing. They're all staring at me. I see the lights going by.
Yeah.
And like it's just this pain is just unbearable. And I get to the unreal. And I get to the emergency room, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know if I should say it, but the nurse was she was a little cruel. She was a little bitchy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was not very helpful to me in my time of need.
Okay.
Like,
why? How?
I don't know. She just came across. Maybe it's just the way she came across. But like, she would like tell me like, "Oh, you need to sit down." Blah blah. Like, she was very snippy. Like about me, like making sure I was sitting down and like.
Maybe they get so many like drugged up people in there that it's hard to get them to do what you need them to.
That's true.
Maybe she's just used to that.
That's true. I was pretty drugged up. I was so woozy too.
I imagine it's like talking to a drunk person or something.
Oh yeah, I am flying.
Sit down.
Get out. I could be. But yeah, like she was like, I had to try to pee into this thing because they needed a urine sample, but I just couldn't go because I hadn't drinking anything in like forever.
They should have gave you that water.
And she just wanted me to, and she wanted me to whip it out and just start pissing inside this like little plastic container in front of her.
Really?
I'm like, where do we even start? Like, do I sit? This is like, if anyone would have been like coming in, this is like the most compromising position I've ever been in. I've got my so this nurse is turned around, she's got the faucet going, and I've got like, it looked like a juice pitcher. My dick's just sitting in this juice pitcher. I'm sitting up in bed, and it's just sitting in there. And she's turned around with the faucet water running, and it's like 2 minutes of awkward silence for me trying to piss in this thing.
Why does she have water running?
I guess to inspire me.
Okay.
I don't know. But I'm sitting here, and she's like, "Now you need to pee, or I'm gonna have to give you a catheter." So I'm like, "All right, come on, dick, just piss." I'm like the guy in waiting.
You're so drugged up, you probably said that out loud.
Yeah. That wasn't even me thinking. I'm like, come on, you worthless dick, just pee.
She's probably behind you, like, trying not to laugh.
She's recording it. She does a medical podcast. Look what this guy said today. He was sitting there. I didn't even tell him to get a urine sample. He just whipped his dick out and put it in this jar. I don't know what
picture I had laying around.
I don't know what he was doing. He told me to turn the water on.
Said he needed inspiration. Wow.
But no, so that was I was like,
you're facing the door?
I was facing like the wall. There was 4 walls in this room. It was an interesting room.
Weird room.
One wall it had the bathroom, and then there was a TV in the corner. Then the right wall was the doorway. The left wall was just a blank wall. And then there was a wall behind me. So I was facing the bathroom.
Okay.
And I was still in bed. So that's why it was weird. Like, I was like, how do you want me to do this? Like, do you want me to rainbow it or something? Like, rainbow it over the bed or something? But I ended up, I sat up in bed, and I laid it in there. I was like, all right, let's see what happens. Never pissed sitting up in a bed before. We'll see. And as you can probably tell, nothing came of this. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
But she didn't have to do the catheter because I was able to do it later, which was awesome. Because I guess catheter, they shove a tube up your dick or something. Ooh. I don't want that.
No.
Definitely don't want that. So that didn't happen, which is good. Where was I going? Oh, so they gave me. So after that happened, she's like, all right, well, we'll just figure this out later. She was like, I give up. I quit. In all my days of nursing, I've never had to deal with such filth. So I go in, and now it's time for me to get the scan. The technicians are ready. The ones that went on break are finally done drinking their coffee and eating their donuts. Like, all right, I guess we'll run the machine today. We just cleared our BAM screen and went home for the day, but we'll come back. We'll miss this episode of whatever. So I go in there. That was pretty shitty because like I have to sit still, and I had not been doing that the entire time since I've been there because I was like trying to get find one position that would just be comfortable enough to be in for like just tolerable for this pain, and that was another thing with peeing. Like I was in so much pain I couldn't even think about peeing. I was like, how can I concentrate on trying to pee? When all I can think about is how bad this is just eating me from the inside, whatever this is. But, so I'm sitting inside the little narrow thing for scanning, and she's like, you gotta sit still. So I'm sitting there with, like, my pants down, because I have to get, like, the scan of the body.
Yeah.
And there's a voice that comes on. And it felt like I was in, like, an old sci-fi movie. So that was what kept me going. I was like, oh, this is pretty funny. This voice comes on, it's like, hold your breath. Exhale. Hold your breath. And like it gives you time, and it's like exhale. It really felt like I was like on like an 70s like sci-fi movie, like a space movie or something, or like Hal. It was like Hal talking to me.
Yeah.
But it was funny, and I was like, oh, this is pretty creative. Like I was just wondering why it wouldn't just be her saying that. Like she's right in the room with you.
Yeah.
I thought, but. So they had luckily that didn't last long because it was very uncomfortable. It was a tight space, and you had to sit still and just nut up and be like, all right, well, this is happening right now. This pain is here, but you can't. You're just gonna have to sit there, until they scan you. They finally get done scanning me. They put me back in the room. I get hooked up to. I guess they hooked me up to like some nutrients or something because I was looking like really weak. And the morphine was really taking a toll on me. Like I was ready to pass out, and they hooked me up to that. And then they hooked me up to some other pain meds that are supposed to help if the other ones don't. And I gotta say that was awesome. Like that, as soon as they hooked me up, like seconds later, everything like subsided.
What was in there?
I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. They told me the name of it. I don't remember.
Oh,
but. Then pain went away like almost instantly.
Completely away?
I'm like completely.
Wow.
Yeah. It went from like being a 9 to a 0.
Jeez.
So I was just like, yeah, this is all right now. I'm just sitting in bed now. I'm like, well, what do I do, Doc? All right, what do you want? I'll piss in something. Bring it on. And I was like, all right. So I'm like, oh, well. And at this point, my mom came and my sister came. I called them from the other place to tell them I was doing this. Going on this little adventure, and so they made their way over, which was good because I wouldn't have been able. They advised me against driving, so I don't know what I would have done if they weren't available to pick me up.
Yeah,
like does the hospital give you a ride back to your house? Do you get an ambulance ride back? I don't understand. Or do you have to stay overnight until you can drive? Maybe that would be.
I think they just know you're going to call somebody.
They just assume. He's got someone that cares about him.
He probably won't drive. Let's just let him go.
Yeah. But I mean, the weird thing was, like, my car wouldn't even have been at that hospital, so I would have had to get a ride anyways. Yeah. But yeah, so my sister and my mom came in. I was, like, kind of relaxed at this point, still hopped up on some narcotics. I was like, hey, guys, what's up? Everything's cool. Watched some TV. Waited for some results to come back, and like 3 different people came in. Actually, one was a technician, one was the actual doctor, and one was the nurse. The doctor thought he had the sample of urine already, which he didn't, so he left. He's like, I'll be right back after I analyze this sample. I was like, wait, what sample? And he was gone. So I was like, oh, this sucks. So I sat and watched some TV, tried to get the Brewer game, but it just showed a logo for DirecTV with some music. I was like, what's wrong with this day? Could it get any worse? What else? So the doctor comes, instead of the doctor, a technician comes in. Some guy who looked like a scientist. I was like, this guy looks like he belongs here. I can trust him. And he's like, I need a urine sample. I'm like, well, I'll try this again. You're not going to stand behind me with water running, are you? And he leaves. Everyone leaves. I stand up. I'm like, come on, you got to do this. If there's one thing you have concentrated the hardest in your life, it's got to be this. And finally I make a little something come out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I don't have to have a tube up me. And give it back to him. And what else? What was I going to say? Give it back to him. They analyze it. No infection, so that's good. Doctor comes back and he goes, all right, so what we found on the scan is that it's not appendicitis, which is awesome, but it is a kidney stone. So it is a kidney stone. I don't know what the cause of it yet is.
Oh, you don't?
I have the stone in my possession.
What do you mean?
I have it. I passed it already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Passed it.
Did that part hurt?
No. Which is weird. I heard everyone says that part sucks. It just happened so quick.
How big was it?
3 millimeters.
Oh.
Yeah.
So why did it hurt so much when it was like...
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
What part of that is that?
I think it's the passing of it. Like, it goes from, like, here all the way into your, like, groin. So, like, I think passing through those... I don't think those tubes are equipped for that.
Huh.
And I think people say... I don't know. I don't want to sound stupid, because I don't know if it's true, but, like, it's, like, got, like... It's not barbed, but there's, like... The way it is, it's, like...
Oh, really?
Kind of, like...
Huh.
I don't know. I don't want to say barbed, because that would be, like... Obviously, it would tear you up. But, I don't know. I think just the way it is. Like, it's not meant to pass. Like, you're not... I don't think that's supposed to happen. So, like, that... Oh, it just sucked, though. It was... That pain. I don't ever want to have that again.
Mm-hmm.
Like... It really did felt like someone just, like, came up to me, like, after work, and they were just like, hey, come on, S.A. Not saying they have to be Mexican. But that's just what I picture in my mind. Oh, we're going to get some phone calls on that one. It's okay. One of my best friends was a Mexican. You'll understand. But, you know, it just felt like I got stabbed. It could be by any ethnicity, you know. Could have been a white guy who was just like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
No. But, yeah, it sucked. So I came home. They gave me, like, a little sifter.
Mm-hmm.
For it, and like another one of those little pitchers. So I had to, like, every time I peed, I had to pee into that and try to sift it out.
Did you have to go at work at all? Or have you been to work since?
I have, but I got it before I went to work. So
okay.
That's good.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, bring that into the bathroom.
Guy walks in like, what the heck?
I'm, like, sitting, like, next to the urinal. Can't you do that in the stall? Oh, yeah, right. This is America. But yeah, so luckily it kind of happened. It's pretty much said and done. But they prescribed me with Vicodin and some urine stuff. It's supposed to help you go better. I don't know.
Wow.
So I don't know what to do with that stuff. I don't know. Anyone want to buy some Vicodin? But yeah, that was that excursion.
Oh, man.
And today was not too bad. I was pretty laid back today. Work went pretty fast. Just hoping tomorrow goes fast because I'm excited, very excited for the haunted houses.
Yeah.
And I was going to talk about the haunted houses, but maybe we should just save that for next week.
Yeah.
This is a long show now.
It's not often we end on a high note. Let's just...
Yeah. Yeah, let's not try to drag this out anymore. I think we had a really solid one today.
Yeah.
And I don't want to try to force anything.
Yeah.
Like a stone.
Oh. On that note.
Woo! Oh, yes. Man. So next week we'll talk about the haunted house.
Yeah.
Our adventure at the haunted house. Tell you all about it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some of our other haunted house experiences.
We should talk about gearing up for maybe visiting Ed Gein's.
Yes. Ed Gein's property.
Yeah. And
a couple other field trips we were talking about. Maybe going to the Bray Road to see if we can find the beast. Hunt for the beast. Yeah, this October is going to be a very good one. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff going on. So
yeah.
All right. Well, see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was good.